Just because I'm curious, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about brands writing the name of a player on the boots themselves? Obviously, this is Messi's signature model, and he has his own signature logo. Everyone knows what that is, but Adidas still feels the need to write out Messi on the boots themselves. Obviously, we see this with Nike a little bit with the Neymar and CR7 signature releases, but for the most part, they kind of stick to putting logos rather than full names just written up on the upper. Yes, CR7 obviously represents Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's not his name blatantly written out across the shoe. For me, I'm not a huge fan of it, and honestly, I just think this looks a little bit messy. That wasn't a good joke. What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Adidas Messi Nemeziz 18.3, the only takedown model in the new Messi lineup, of course, in the launch World Cup Energy Mode Pack colorway, which happens to be extremely bright green with black accents. Now, what's weird about this boot is it is the only takedown model. There is no Messi 18.2, just the top end 18.1 and then the 18.3. So you're either spending $225 or $80 for the 18.3 version. And historically, these 18.3 takedown models from Adidas have not been very good. This one, however, is actually really nice and makes some modifications that I actually prefer over the 18.1. I'm gonna point out what those are to you in today's video. We'll go over the details, including how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. And if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $80 retail price. If you guys do end up enjoying the video, don't forget to support it with a like. And if you're new here watching for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Included with the boots is a box and nothing else. So if you guys saw my review of the Nemeziz 18.3, the non-Messi variation, you will have noticed that this is a low and that was a mid. That's basically one of the main differences between these two shoes. The Messi version only comes as a low. The regular Nemeziz 18.3 only comes as a mid. The only other difference you're going to find is the sole plate and stud pattern, which in all honesty aren't actually that different, but they both retail for the same $80. As far as which one is better, I wouldn't necessarily say that one is better than the other. Ultimately, it does come down to personal preference, but I would say that if you prefer the look and feel of low-cut boots over mid-cut boots, you're probably gonna find the Messi variation a little bit more comfortable, but again, it depends on what you want. The upper features what they're calling agility mesh, which is basically a very simple mesh-based synthetic material with a polyurethane layer on top and a padded internal liner. It's very soft, it's very flexible, and it offers what I would describe as kind of a sock-like feel, but definitely not as premium as what you will find from the top-end Messi Nemeziz 18.1. But it does come relatively close, if I'm being fair. They don't feel cheap on your feet, which is very important for me with a lot of takedown models. These do not have that classic takedown model plasticky synthetic sensation, which is very, very important. You're also gonna notice that it does have this kind of zigzag pattern on the surface. That is simply just printed on the surface. It has nothing to do with grip. It has nothing to do with performance. It's purely for the sake of cosmetics. Now the upper does for the most part look like it's entirely one piece. Not exactly the case. You can see some seams here on the medial side as well as on the lateral side, but for the most part, it does have a one-piece construction in regards to how it feels, in that it doesn't have a physical tongue. The central portion of the upper is filled in with this elasticated neoprene material that is quite thin, and then of course the laces run down the middle using a dual lace hole setup that allows you to very effectively tighten the shoes, giving these a more responsive sensation than I think you might expect from an $80 boot. Moving on to the rear of the shoe, what's kind of funny about this is that this is actually more close to the boots that Messi actually wears versus the 18.1 that has a different heel construction that comes higher out the back and with a completely different liner. This is more of a traditional design that Messi himself, like I mentioned, does actually wear. I personally find this more comfortable, and obviously Messi does as well. But aside from that, there's nothing too fancy about what they've done here. It's just more traditional versus the 18.1. You're gonna find what is an agility bandage right here at the top piece of the front of the upper. And this is something that you will find scattered all over the top end 18.1 model. They included one here basically to act as your collar. Not that I would consider this to be a collar at all. It just extends a little bit higher here at the front, but basically this fits and feels just like a low-cut shoe. They include that for the sake of looks for the most part. As far as the heel area is concerned, it does feature an internal plastic heel counter. Like I mentioned, it's cut a little bit lower at the back, which I personally find to be a lot more comfortable. And it has this really good quality synthetic suede, kind of Clarino type material as a liner that feels really, really good. Plus it has proper depth, which was a huge issue for me with the previous generation Nemeziz 17.3, either the regular or the Messi variants of that particular model. So the fit and heel is drastically improved, something we'll talk about more in just a second. And then there's the insole, which typical of any Adidas Takedown model is non-removable. Not a big deal. You could technically remove it. They kind of glue it down and make things difficult for you. But at 80 bucks, considering that Nike for their $80 takedowns do offer removable insoles, I think it would be nice if Adidas did that as well. The Soleplate end stud pattern, while not bad at all, it is where Adidas is kind of a little bit lazy with this particular shoe, because this is the same Soleplate end stud pattern that was originally introduced on the Messi 15.3. It is 2 different layers of plastic to create a sole plate. It's got decent thickness to it. It's decently flexible. It doesn't have that awkward stiffness like a lot of Adidas Takedown models can have. So the sole plate does get a pass. And then of course it does have the Messi specific stud pattern within the Adidas lineup, which basically every single line from Adidas has this same layout where you have 6 studs in the forefoot along the edges, 1 support stud in the middle, and then 4 support studs or 4 studs under the heel. The Messi ones have the smallest profile of all their lines in that they're kind of triangular in shape. The front 2 studs are triangle at the base and then kind of taper into full conical studs. Same with the ones at the back. Again, this is Messi's own specific stud pattern that you'll only find on the Messi versions of any shoe from the Adidas brand right now. I would argue it's slightly more aggressive than that of the regular Nemeziz. As far as what my preference would be, honestly, I don't notice a big enough difference. Also, this is an FG stud pattern, but you technically can get away with using it on artificial grass as well. Just keep in mind, as with pretty much any shoe, if you choose to use these on artificial grass, very, very likely the durability will take a hit. When it comes to weight, these aren't super light, which I'm honestly not that surprised about. In a size 9.5 US, these guys weigh in at 8.9 ounces, which is a lot heavier than what you'll find from the top end Nemeziz Messi 18.1, which is gonna weigh in at around 7.5 ounces, a little bit less than that in the same size. So you will notice a drastic weight increase going from 18.1 to 18.3. And as far as comparing these to other boots out there right now, even at the $80 price point, you do have lighter options available. However, I think if you're interested in this shoe in general, you're probably a big Messi fan, you're not gonna have too many issues with the weight. Just don't expect these to feel super light on your feet. So as you can see, I swapped out the stock green laces for some black and neon yellow grid pattern SR4U replacement laces. I like the black, it accents well with the Adidas stripes as well as the Messi branding on either side. And then the neon yellow accents really nicely with the zigzag pattern on the upper. Plus it just separates you from everybody else. So many people buy these takedown models at the $80 price point. These make yours that much different. And I just think it looks really, really cool. So if you are interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. On feet, the Messi Nemeziz 18.3 fits really nice. They finally fixed that super shallow fit in the heel that so many Adidas takedown models have had in the past. These feel normal, and I actually prefer the way these fit in the heel area just because it's lower at the back versus the Nemeziz 18.1 that also the 17.1 had, where it's just extended a little bit higher than I think it needs to be, which can cause some chafing depending on how they fit you. It was an issue for me, it's an issue for a lot of people. You're not gonna have that issue because of this slightly lower cut. It's got a standard low cut in the heel, that feels pretty normal. The upper is soft, it's a mesh-based synthetic, so that shouldn't be too surprising. And the fit overall, especially with the one-piece upper, is really nice considering that these are only $80. The sole plate doesn't feel awkwardly stiff, and it doesn't feel cheap in any way at all, which is also very important. As far as width is concerned and the overall fit of the shoe, they fit quite nicely. I don't have any major complaints here. Width-wise, I think they're gonna be suitable for most people as long as you don't have excessively wide feet. These should fit you quite comfortably. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in a 9.5 US. My feet are about a 9.25, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, we have yet another Adidas Takedown model at the 0.3 $80 price point that is actually pretty good. I can recommend these. Now keep in mind, when you have a budget for a pair of new boots, $80 specifically, consider all of your options. I'm not saying that this is the one shoe that you should buy no matter what. Same goes for the regular mid-cut Nemeziz 18.3. They're both good options, but you have other options out there. I really think the Hypervenom Felon 3, now called the Hypervenom Phantom 3 Academy, is a really solid option at that $80 price point. I would personally prefer those over these. I prefer the upper, and it's gonna be a lighter overall package as well, with a stud pattern that I personally prefer. If I'm comparing this to the Nike Mercurial Vapor 12 Academy, that's a shoe that is lighter. It's gonna offer more aggressive traction, but it does have more of a plasticky sensation to the upper versus this particular boot. So if you're asking my preference between those two, I'd probably prefer these. So again, it just depends on what you're looking for. It's not a perfect shoe by any means, but for $80, as far as what you're getting, it's not a bad value at all. Anyways, guys, that is it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $80 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.